Buddy Rob Anderson, Clean Power Wash, Salisbury, Maryland. So y'all know I'm a book junkie. I love learning stuff, and then sharing it, obviously. So I was at the huge convention talking with Adam Stein, one of Dave Carroll's A-Type data guys, and he recommended Rich Dad's Cash Flow Quadrant book. Regardless of, I'm not, again, not as big of a debt guy, and a lot of what Robert Kiyosaki talks about is leveraging a lot in there, and that's Rich Dad Poor Dad and whatnot too. But guys, this is a really good informational book in a lot of other ways that I don't think, judging the book by its cover or the title, that you would really expect to get out of it. He's talking about, B, big business, I, investor, S, self-employed, or entrepreneur, which can also be the B side, and then E, employee. It's interesting listening to him talk about, the kind of people that, when you're interviewing people, depending on what you're looking for, the words they use are very telling on what they, an employee is probably the simplest one. They just want their hours, their stability, their safety and whatnot. No risk. I work 20 hours, so I get paid for 20 hours. Self-employed person's talking about, working harder, making more money, and it gets into pretty accurately why we struggle as small business entrepreneurs to find employees, because we're looking for ourselves. And if we find ourselves, we're probably going to be training our future competition. I've got a couple guys. One is a small business owner. The other ones are just happy to just show up to work, do some work, and go home. They're definitely E's. Both of them have a little bit of S in them, but just going through and talk about so many other things, and I don't know if I've made a video about it or not. I am very against all these MLM, reach out and bother every one of your friends to try and sell a product, and then once you've exhausted that, this company will no longer have any use for you. There's a couple good ones. I mean, obviously Mary Kay's been doing it for centuries. Not really centuries, but probably by far and away the longest one. But I've had a bunch of friends that have reached out to me with different, hey, would you be interested, you or your wife, in doing this or that? And it sickens me when I see the friends that have been taken to do this, that are literally reaching to the end of their, proverbial Facebook Messenger list, to people that, I haven't talked to one of the girls in almost 10 years, and the first thing she says, hey, blah, 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 Roden and Fields. And it's what he says, what Kiyosaki says in the book is so dead on. Like, if you want to join those things to see other people that are, interested in investing in businesses, or the kind of people, but that to judge those different groups, it's not necessarily about the product. That's the problem, is that so many people focus on what they're selling, not the systems that are in place to help sell that product. Are you just, is the person you report to just the person who recruited you, that's been doing it, a hot minute longer than you have? Or is it somebody who really knows what they're talking about, that's been, that's an expert, that's somebody higher up? Sorry, this camera keeps moving. Tighten that a little bit. But yeah, I mean, lots of good stuff to see in there, and also just talking about, the whole growing your business. A true B is somebody that, with their business, and it always threw me off with the book that, talks about large companies being basically the owner of a large company, not necessarily the CEO. that that basically that you could step away from your business, and in a year from now, it's going to be at least doing as good, if not better, than it was beforehand. And that's something, again, it all comes down to systems. And it was talking about how banks are willing to loan money and capital to companies that have systems. If you don't have a system in place, then they don't see the, you know, the quote unquote guarantee that the money is going to be paid back. You know, because obviously if something happens to me at this point in my business right now, no offense to my wife, but I have not put her in a position where she could take over, or one of my guys could take over, because they only know, sorry, red light, the production side of the business. Probably in the next year, that's a major focus. It's always been one of those, not paranoia things, but one of those things that I do worry about is that, you know, what if something happened to me, what's going to happen to my family, beyond just life insurance. So, but yeah, get this book. It's a lot of very accurate and eye-opening information about a whole ton of business stuff that I think all of us could you know, appreciate. And it certainly shows a lot of stuff too, even just talking about with investing, you know, using the money that you've got to work and make more money for you. And I'm not going to label the whole industry as a overall, but that most investors, you know, stockbrokers and whatnot, are actually E's. They're not business owners. They're not actually investors on the scale that ideally we would really want them to be. I mean, they've got it set up so that they get paid, you know, for the most part, regardless of whether or not you win or lose in the market. Versus if it was really an eye that had skin in the game, they want to succeed, so they're gonna take you along the ride. So hope that helps, guys. Again, get that book. It's Rich Dad's Cash Flow Quadrant. I've really enjoyed it, and again, I think there's a whole lot of value, especially for $15. Definitely check it out. Have a great day.